we develop those future researchers. So you go from presenting at Student Research Week to standing on a podium, presenting your research to a massive crowds and publishing in, prestigious journals. And that's where it starts.
This is On Air with Student Affairs. I'm your host, Elizabeth Drake, and today we're here with some current Texas A&M students to talk a little bit about their experience with student research on campus. So I'd love to start out with hearing a little bit about each of you guys and what brought you to A&M.
Oh, I can start. So, hi, I'm Aditi Zoshi. I'm the Director of Student Research Week for the year of 2026. And what really brought me to Texas A&M is like when I was looking for college options, and I had I have applied to multiple colleges, and Texas A&M was a little different for me because it had the exact course that I was looking for. I have a computer engineering background. So basically, I wanted a course that helps me with communication and also keeps my technical side to it. So here I am for the MIS course, and also when I got this college, I also got the opportunity to be the director of Student Research Week in a month or so. So that also, that was an inclination that why am I here.
Yeah. What about y'all?
Hi, I'm Jivika. I'm a senior biomedical science major, and I'm the logistics coordinator for SRW. And coming into college, I knew that I wanted to pursue research. And when I looked into A&M, I saw a lot of research opportunities for undergrads, and I was like, I think I know where I'm going.
So my name is Elliot Mercer. I'm a first-year master's student pursuing a master's of public health in epidemiology and biostatistics. Texas A&M being a R1 research institution is one of the key points that actually drew me to come here to further my education. As my background in West Texas being in clinical research, that was one of the key aspects. And after looking into multiple universities, I felt that the core values and the goals and the effort that A&M puts into their students and into accurate research and into public health and everything, especially in Texas and the communities, is something that aligned with what I wanted to pursue.
Yeah. So I know you touched a little bit on Student Research Week. Could you tell us how you found out about it and what made you get involved?
Oh, actually, when I was looking for part-time opportunities here, I'll be very honest, that's how I found about Student Research Week. But when I was preparing for the interview, I got to know that Student Research Week is the largest student research symposium. And me being the background from, I have a technical background. And I believe that whatever in the current scenario, research with respect to AI, cybersecurity and everything is what people are looking for. And I wanted to put this idea into this year's Student Research Week. And I know how many people have already gained a lot of advantage from Student Research Week from what I have heard from people. And that's what inclined me towards being a director of Student Research Week.
I don't remember how exactly I found out, but last year I just remember going to lab and some of the undergrads were like, hey, something called Student Research Week is happening in March and I think we should all present. And I looked into it, and that's when I found out that it's a platform that allows all researchers to showcase their work. And so I figured it would be a great opportunity. And it was the first time I had presented in front of an audience. So I think that's kind of how I got into SRW.
Yeah, so I actually got to hear about it through faculty and staff with the School of Public Health. Being involved, with my background, one of the professors kind of mentioned, are you interested in getting involved in some symposiums or presenting your research or things like that? And that's when student research came up as a kind of university-wide instead of a specific, like a symposium. And I looked into it and I was like, oh man, I actually noticed that they were taking applications. And being involved in West Texas with a different university, I'd helped do poster programs and see that. And I was like, I want to get involved with this. So it seemed like a great opportunity at the time.
Yeah, absolutely. So what do you guys enjoy researching?
I think for me, I know I kind of talked about this before, but I came from Rhode Island, a small town in Rhode Island. And so coming from there to A&M with 70,000 students, it was a big change. And it was hard at first trying to find my group of friends. And for me, research helped a lot. And I joined Dr. Gaharwar's research lab in the biomedical engineering department. And the undergrads that work there became my first real friends in college. So I think for me, research, the lab itself became my second home. So that's what got me into research.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I have several years in background in emergency medicine, and then I actually moved into a role as a clinical research coordinator in oncology. And so my focus and research is a lot into cancer epidemiology and environmental exposures. I currently am a graduate research assistant in the School of Public Health, investigating some of those with the professor in environmental exposures and the relations to cancer epi in the state of Texas.
I'm not a student of my course doesn't have any research in it. But for me, currently we have multiple hackathons with respect to AI or cybersecurity. And when, for us, research is basically learning more about prompt engineering, what is the current trend going on here. So we are into finding more technological things. So we are not into research like they are.
So obviously you've all been pretty involved with Student Research Week. What is it like from your perspective presenting?
At first, I did not know what to expect. It was kind of nerve-wracking because it had been my first. I had never presented before, but as soon as I got into the room, I was at ease because there were other presenters like me presenting for their first time, and I also got to present with some of the undergrads that work in my lab, and they made me feel really comfortable. And I think overall, it gave me a taste of what presenting is like, and I think it made me more confident in presenting and made me more articulate and made me a better orator. So yeah, I think that's kind of what I took away from presenting at Student Research Week last year.
Could you tell us a little bit what it looked like prepping for presenting?
I did not get the chance to attend the workshops last year, but that is something I encourage all students to do this year is attend our poster workshop, which is actually happening today. But I sort of just had to go off of what students in our lab had done before. And before I was presenting, I also looked at what other presenters were doing and kind of took points out of, the way they were, presenting themselves, the way they were, moving their hands, their body language, and all of that. So I think whether you're presenting or not, just being there or even just going to Student Research Week is a great way to just better your skills as a presenter and a researcher.
Yeah, so I know in the beginning you mentioned a little bit about Texas A&M being an R1 Research Institute. How do you guys think that Student Research Week plays into that?
So that's one of the key points that actually drew me to this university. I believe it's a misconception when a lot of people think that the only people that are doing research is faculty or postdocs or things like that. And I feel like you see that at a lot of universities. But here at Texas A&M, you've got students doing groundbreaking work, doing that heavy lifting. And when you get thousands of individuals together pursuing common goals and to further, that knowledge in their respective fields, I believe that contributes to why this is an R1 research institution. And I think that that's where those opportunities really shine.
Can I add to that point, Student Research Week is basically, we have given the opportunity to 70,000 students in Texas A&M, and out of which as far as I know, last year, 1,000 people participated in it. And there are the exposure that these people get, from what I've heard from my supervisor, that all the people have gained so much of confidence in communicating and they basically know how to communicate. They know what kind of hand gestures are needed. They know what kind of eye contact we have to make. From my perspective, I have given so many presentations related to Student Research Week here. I now know where to look. Basically, what people to communicate and how to communicate to the deans and everyone. So basically, it has also given us the confidence as a committee, and I know how students also can gain confidence through it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, something that I'd also like to add is that we have a bunch of different symposiums across campus. I mean, we had URS a few days ago, and there's the PTIC. There's a bunch of different opportunities. But what makes SRW unique is that it's broad. It's not just for honors students, or it's not for students in a particular department. It's for anyone who does research, whether whether you have 5 papers published or whether you're, just starting the semester. Anyone can join SRW and get the opportunity to showcase their work. So I think that's the best part about Student Research Week.
Yeah, I think that's a really great point that you said anyone can join y'all. So, what would you say to a student then who's like, my research isn't ready yet, or maybe doesn't feel confident enough in their work?
I would say that you're not alone in that feeling. Whether it's any kind of new activity, you're going to have nerves. You're going to be nervous. You're going to think, am I prepared? Am I good enough? Is my research good enough? Is it backed good enough? But that's that first step. And I think SRW really promotes the opportunity to grow. And so until you take that first step, it's going to accelerate your growth into becoming a better researcher, a better presenter, and overall just a better overall individual, able to not just perform accurate and good research in your prospective field, but be able to articulate that to a variety of different populations, whether that be professors, general population, your neighbor, your best friend, however that may be. And so even if you don't think it's good enough or it's groundbreaking, everything is important, and there's nothing that has ever been solved or advanced by going, I don't think I should present this. I don't think this should be, it's not good enough. And so I really encourage everyone, whether it's an abstract or whether it's a 3-year project, get that information out there, take those first steps and really pursue those goals.
And just like to add that instead of showcasing what you want, like what your research is, I would say that just come and show off your research.
Mm-hmm.
No research is small. Just come and show it off to everybody that this is what you are doing. And this will give confidence to the people like me who have never done research or who have never presented. So I would just like to, next year, if I want to participate, I'll just come and show off my research. Instead of showcasing, just keep that in mind.
Yeah, what a wonderful message just for everyone to come and embrace it and get that experience while they're at Texas A&M. Is there any myths you guys think about presenting at Student Research Week that would be good to debunk?
You don't have to be a good communicator always. You learn these skills while you are presenting, while you are taking part in something. You don't have to be perfect at everything. You can just be jack of all. You just don't have to be master of everything. So you can just come and present there, and then you'll slowly learn that you are capable of doing stuff. Then you are capable of presenting. You're capable of talking to people. That's how you'll gain confidence.
It sounds like a great opportunity too to practice those communication skills.
Exactly.
I think another myth that I've heard is the judging aspect, especially in Student Research Week, I feel makes people nervous. These, just like your fellow peers, faculty, these judges come from a variety of backgrounds, and they're not there to critique or quote unquote judge your work. They're there to encourage you, give that good feedback, because just like everyone at Texas A&M, they want to see you succeed.
So what research happening on campus do you guys think could potentially change the world?
Yeah, so, in regards to Student Research Week, one of the unique perspectives I think that I have is I've been fortunate enough to be involved with research presentations and attending, large societies that present research like the American Association of Pediatrics, hematological associations, where you've got researchers that are at the, forefront of their fields presenting to large groups, and it is the same scale, it's the size of Student Research Week and the quality and participation that goes into this, and the output is on a similar scale that these top-of-the-line journals are publishing research. And I believe that is the same point, that it is large quality research. And just like these, if not the same size, even a little bit bigger, because everything's bigger in Texas. So it's a great opportunity. And I think that's where we develop those future researchers. So you go from presenting at Student Research Week to standing on a podium, presenting your research to a massive crowds and publishing in, prestigious journals. And that's where it starts.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what an incredible experience right here on Texas A&M's campus that you're able to be a part of. That's incredible that it's compared to these huge conferences that are happening around the country. Do you guys have any stories about student research or about research in general that have really resonated with you?
I will recalling when I first came to this university, I was very interested in getting involved in research myself here, coming from West Texas, and actually speaking with a student in one of the higher cohorts in the School of Public Health. She actually informed me that Student Research Week is actually what got her involved in actually presenting and doing research here on campus. They were initially pursuing a route that was a little more directed toward policy and some stuff like that. No real like practical application of research. And attending that has actually made them change a direction and find where they feel they are providing more input into their future field just by attending. And now they're going to be planning to present at this year's Student Research Week themselves instead of a passerby. So.
Yeah. Wow, that's an awesome story. So speaking of Student Research Week, have you guys had any friendships or unexpected collaborations or connections come from it?
Definitely. Like if I talk about being a part of a committee in Student Research Week, which I would suggest everybody, like whoever wants to be a part of Student Research Week committee next year, I would suggest everybody, because this year I've found such good people from different departments, and like we all are from different departments. I'm from MIS, she's from biomedical science, you're from
Public health, yeah.
Public health. So I have connected with so many people. I've got to know their perspective about not just research, but just in general about everything. And we also come from different countries. Like I come from a different country. She's coming from different state and everything. So we all come from a different background. So connecting with these people had made me realize like how people are in general and how to communicate with everybody. Now, it was very difficult for me coming back from India and talking to people here, but I realized that everybody, like everywhere, people are the same, and it made me more confident. It made me they made me understand, like these committee people, they made me understand how to speak.
Yeah.
How to communicate. So yeah, I'm very grateful for that. And that's how, like, I have good friends in my committee as well. And as far as I know, that in Texas A&M, these are the people that I know for sure.
Yeah. Wow. Have you guys found any unexpected friendships?
Apart from the committee that we're in this year, which, Aditi talked about, as a presenter, you get to meet other people who are doing research in your area or in different areas. And I think it's a great opportunity to network and find out different opportunities. I know a lot of my friends who've participated in SRW before have met new people, have found opportunities through them. And so I think just like any other research symposium, it's a great thing to add to your resume as well. And there's nothing to lose. So
Yeah.
you can come and present and you can win cash awards. But what is there to lose? There's nothing to lose.
I love that attitude. There's nothing to lose. What a great experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. That Texas Aggie network, you can't beat it. And the more people you never know what door that might open.
Absolutely.
And, just like, Aditi said, getting to collaborate with so many different backgrounds and even coming to the workshops and meeting prospective students and that are planning to present research or wanting to just build on those skills, getting to chat with them and hear, their feedback and their input has, even opened up several avenues for me, trying to help some with advising or, collaborate in the future, get together to help study or, so it's, you never know what the next person's going to help lead you to. So
like just to add to that point, like people have so many questions with respect to Student Research Week. I've been getting like hundreds of emails every day asking like, how do we present? What is exactly oral presentation? What is exactly poster presentation? The excitement gets to me. The people have communicated with, even in the abstract workshop we had. Today we have a poster workshop. They are so super excited about, like, we want to present, we want to learn how to communicate. And that gets to me. That motivation gets to me. And I feel that I'll be a participant definitely for the next year, because I had no idea what Student Research Week is. Like, this is so huge. Like, you get to connect with not just with students, also with the judges, also with the professors. You get to learn, like, where are you lacking exactly and what your research needs. Like, even people from industry come and give you input. So I feel that that is the biggest gain that even I'll have as a director and not a participant. and I'll be the one who will be looking at all the research.
So you guys,
Also, I wanted to add another point is that last year when I was presenting, when I was a participant, I remember after I finished my oral presentation, the judge apparently knew my PI. And so they knew the work that we were doing, and then we sort of just talked about the work for a few minutes. And I think it felt really great. It felt, great to talk to someone who knows the work you're doing and, maybe get ideas from them. They were giving us tips and pointers on, what we could add to our work, what other studies we could do. So I think it's a great learning experience too, because we also match our judges to the taxonomies based on the presenter's taxonomy. So they're not going to be people who completely do not know anything about your topic. So I think that was, again, a great moment for me.
yeah, what a great opportunity to meet people, it sounds like, too, attending Student Research Week. What has been the most rewarding part of being involved with research at Texas A&M in that community?
For me, the most rewarding part is meeting new people, definitely. Like coming from a different country and then settling here and then getting to know the background of everybody and getting to know what the thought process is. That was the most rewarding part because I think I've just gained more and more information every day I communicate with everybody.
Yeah.
So I just know how to showcase my presentation skills and how to I know where is where should be the improvement point now. And I know when Student Research Week will come, I'll learn more about it. I'll meet more student researchers and learn about myself as well and learn where I'm lacking too.
Yeah, and what a wonderful experience. I loved how you shared how excited you get when you get to meet the new people and when they get to talk about their project. So I think that's wonderful. What about y'all?
I think the greatest part about research here at A&M is that you get to learn things that you wouldn't learn in a typical classroom. So I've been involved with research for the past 2.5 years, and I've done things that I never thought I'd do as an undergrad. I've cut open rats. I've, worked with blood and, done all these different tests that I couldn't have possibly learned from, say, a classroom or a lab, like a course lab, right? So I think just the amount of knowledge I've gained through research is incredible. And it also makes it fun when you're not, studying for an exam, but you're actually being interactive and, working with your hands. So that was the best part about research for me. What about you?
I think one of the key takeaways I've received from being involved with research at Texas A&M is confidence.
Yeah.
And not just confidence in myself, confidence in my skills coming from a reputable university, teaching me not only appropriate research, but guiding me to be a better researcher. And so I think that for me, it's really that confidence in that good backing, that confidence in my skills, and that confidence, again, as from being an outsider, even I know the expansive Texas Aggie network and, that ring and that prestige of coming from such a prestigious university comes with the benefits because those students are prepared. They're educated, they're prepared, and they go out in their fields and they change the world. And so I think that that's why it's one of those rewarding things that I couldn't get here fast enough.
Yeah. Just to add about the Aggie network, one of my friends shared this with me. She was just wearing the Aggie cap that we have, and she was in California, I believe. And one of she was in a shop and one person from the far end just shouted, "Howdy," and gig him. And she just got so happy and excited. It's such a huge network. People all over the, I think, country knows what Texas A&M is. And I also believe Student Research Week is also that, is of that platform that everybody knows what Student Research Week is as well.
Yeah, it really stood out to me how both of you guys are so involved in research, but at the end of the day, what you're bringing up is the Aggie experience, the Aggie network, traditions like the Aggie ring. So how would you say that your research has shaped your Aggie experience and being involved in this community has shaped your time here?
That's hard to put into a phrase, really. I've known people both professionally and friends, peers that have attended Texas A&M in the past, and always heard nothing but good things. And I was like, it sounds too good to be true. And I got here, and man, I resonate with that, and I can't wait to share that same experience with others because I don't think that the path that I'm on now wouldn't be the same without that Texas Aggie experience and that confidence building and those connections and that education and that support from peers, students, faculty, staff, everything, just across the board. It's hard to put into words other than it is Texas A&M. Like that's it.
It's a community like
Yeah,
no other.
definitely. Like we have connected with so many new people. Like I being from a technical background, I had no idea what people from medical, basically medical, what these people do. I had no idea. And listening like about their experiences even now, it's like I have never done anything like that. And I've never had a chance to connect with such people and such good experiences about it. And I believe like I'm taking this with me with Student Research Week. And this is the like plus point of being a part of a committee and also connecting with new people. That's for sure.
Yeah. Also, I want to add on, I think this is a little bit nerdy, but if you've watched Harry Potter, in one of the movies, he says, if you ask for it, help will be given here at Hogwarts. And I think at A&M, if you ask for it, the support you need will be given. If you want to do research, we will support you. If you want to pursue something new, we're there for you. So if you ask, we provide. So I think that's what SRW is also all about.
Wow. I love that answer. That was such a great comparison. What would you say the biggest benefits of getting involved with student research are? What's your why?
I think getting involved in student research here at A&M really helps you develop your critical thinking and problem-solving skills. And there's a fundamental pleasure in just being able to not just consume knowledge by being a student, but also being a producer of knowledge. And something that I personally love from my experience in doing research for the past 2.5 years is that in the lab that I work in, there's PIs, there's postdoc students, there's grad students, there's undergrads, there's people in different stages of their lives and different stages of their academic careers. And we communicate knowledge, and it's like a waterfall almost. Like you get knowledge from them and it like sort of flows down to everyone. And I think it's just a great way to learn, and it helps you not only in research, I think it also helps you beyond research in your courses. It helps you develop your, again, as I said, the critical thinking and analytical skills.
Yeah, I mean, just to summarize that, iron sharpens iron. Surround yourself with, getting to surround yourself with peers and faculty and, like you said, all different stages of their academic career, from teaching it to being active in it to just learning the basics. I think taking those steps to get involved, you're going to see plenty of people pursuing different routes, and some are, pursuing routes that, could possibly solve problems that we have today in our communities. And, people here at Texas A&M, they're very passionate about their work, from whether that be personal experiences or whether that they just want to see, betterment for the future. And, I see that I'm so excited because just seeing some of these students and faculty and postdocs and everyone, some of the work that they're wanting to work on and be involved in, I see that really improving the future. And where else are you going to see that but those opportunities here?
To add on to that, I think research helps you to challenge your own thoughts. If anybody here has watched Suits, basically what Harvey Specter, quoting Harvey Specter, life is here and I like to live here. So basically your thoughts are here, and when you start doing research about basically anything, be just in medical and technical, I think it it helps you level up your thoughts. So yeah, like I live like Harvey. So I like life is here and I think I like to live here.
Live up here.
Yes, I love it. I love that there's an overarching theme of it's just a bunch of Aggies striving to make the world and themselves a better place, which I think is what the Aggie spirit is all about in the first place. For anyone hoping to attend Student Research Week or still register, what do they need to do?
Like Student Research Week is basically the largest student research symposium in the entire nation. And this year's dates are from March 16th to 28th.
And we've extended the deadline to March 3rd, seeing as y'all are submitting a lot of your abstracts. I think the few extra days are going to help increase the number of participants we have this year. Last year we had 900, and this year we're trying to bump that number up. So we need your help for that.
1,500 is the target, guys.
Yes, and it is looking like, we are headed toward that direction. So if you're interested in volunteering to help with Student Research Week, wanting to get involved with the research yourself and present your research, or get involved as a judge, in your respective field, I highly encourage y'all to just, reach out to us, reach out to the Student Research Week committee, and we'd be happy to have your involvement and answer any questions.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today to talk a little bit about student research at Texas A&M. Thanks, and gig 'em.